Guys, we all know that Spyderco knives are some of the most comfortable, but they're also some of the least attractive knives. They do have some, but most of their knives are really unattractive, and a lot has to be said for Sal Glesser to risk that, make that gamble that ergos would be more important than looks. And he was right, because every Spyderco that I've ever owned has been incredibly comfortable. So let's take a close look at the ugly duckling of knives that the knife world has truly embraced. So guys, like I said in the intro, this is not a specific knife video, and what has caused this is I'm absolutely in love with the Spyderco PM2, and I have to admit, like I said in the video, I know it was kind of clickbaity, I have been a Spyderco fan for a long time. I've loved a lot of their knives, but you have to admit they have a weirdness to them in all their knives. Well, the majority of their knives, I should say. They are the ugly duckling that we all love, and there's just, instead of turning into a swan, we've just realized that sometimes ugly just works. And I have to admit, they're not attractive. Now, they do have some models that are absolutely stunning. The Brad Southard models, there's several different models they've got. This is a Spyderco Hanan designed by Brad Southard. And it is in a compression lock as a flipper. And it's gorgeous. It doesn't have the typical Spyderco weirdness in the stylings that you see. You still have the Spidey hole, which on this is non-functional. It's just more of a, that's what they do with their knives. But these really weird overall shapes on their knives, like this police, is absolutely super comfortable. They have managed to capture an ergonomic thing that a lot of other knives just do not have. There are very few Spydercos that I have to say that don't feel good in hand. I might not like the designs, but even ones that I don't like, with the exception of the Tough, which is, it feels weird in hand and it's ugly, most of the Spyderco knives bring to the table a comfort level that other knives just aren't capturing. So when Sal Glesser started the company, they did not make knives. He was making something else. It was a soldering attachment called the Spyder Grip. And not to get into the history of it, I'll do a video about the history of Spyderco knives. And he saw a lot of things. They were doing it door to door. He was working out of his car. He was going to shows. He was selling stuff. And then they decided they were going to start making knives. And they really brought a lot of things to the plate. Now, Spyderco knives were some of the first knives to have pocket clips. The Spyderco Clip It was, I think, the first knife to have an integral pocket clip. And it was just a plastic piece that was on it. They've released a lot of models that I love. But we're talking about the ugliness and weirdness of it. All of the Spydercos that have what I like to call this Spyderco camel's hump changed the spine shape of the blade to where it just looks weird. It's got this weird profile, but once you get it in hand, that's a very, very functional thing. They are some of the most ergonomic and comfortable knives in use that you are going to find. You can get way up on them, on some of them like this, and use that as a spot to put your hand. You've got these areas where you're pushing onto it like this, where it's a very, very secure grip, where you're in here and you're pushing down. They have got some of the best jimping. They're knives that do have jimping, the best jimping you're going to find on most knives out there. This is the Endura. This has been one of my favorite models of knives on the market for years. I've had them for a long time. It is ugly, but what it gives you is, I gotta say, it's an unsurpassed level of comfort that you're not finding in other knives. And when you have a comfortable tool, you're more inclined to use it. I think this is my favorite Spyderco model out there. It is super comfortable. While it's not one of the most functional knives they have, this is absolutely so comfortable in hand with that grip where it comes down, it gets skinny, you're in here, you're pushing back, you're pushing down on your thumb and pulling back with your finger. This is a super secure grip that absolutely is one of the most comfortable on any knife out there. That's one of the things I love about the Endura series of knives, is the way that they're shaped. Now, we've all come to love Spyderco knives despite the way they look. And the reason we're doing this is I just did another video about this knife. I waited so long before I got a PM2, as much as I liked them. And I didn't even buy this. This was sent to me as a gift from one of the subscribers. And I just really feel as though I've changed a lot of my opinions about Spyderco. And it's not so much I changed my opinions. I have loved Spyderco knives for a long time. I still do think that they're overpriced. I think their pricing structure is completely out of whack for what they're offering. But when you get down to it, they are providing some of the most comfortable knives on the market, and they really do offer a lot for their customers. If you look here, if you're right-handed, left-handed, if you like tip up or tip down, you've got those options. It's simply switching the pocket clip from top to bottom, front to back. Even on this Southern, they have given you a reversible pocket clip. They might not have given you a tip down option, but you got left and right option on this. And I really think that Spyderco provides a lot for their customers. I get upset with the fanboys in the knife world that, you know, come to the defense of any company, but you can't argue that they are offering some really, really good knives. Now, if they could just come down in price point a little bit, I would love them even more. But I have to admit, these are some amazing knives, and I get why people love them. And even though they are ugly as a mud fence, these things are ugly as sin. Don't tell me that that's an attractive knife. Don't try to tell me this is an attractive knife. I can't figure out what it looks like. It looks like a shoe, I forget, it looks like a pelican of some sort, a spoonbill pelican. It's got that big head with the big bulb on it. They're just unusual looking knives. They are not attractive, but man, we do love them. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that. Spyderco as a brand has released some of the best models out there. This is one of my favorite knives of all time. This is my favorite Spyderco, and I just had to acknowledge that. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts and send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. Like I said in the intro, embracing the ergos on knives instead of doing the flash and pop, really, I believe that was a very good bet on Sal Glescher's part. I've never had an when I would buy a Spyderco knife, I've never had an uncomfortable one. This PM2 is probably one of the most comfortable knives I have ever owned. I love the Endura. I love the Police. They are all incredible. They're great knives. They have some knives that are the more attractive of their brand, but the fact is, they're just not, in my opinion, they're not the same. Spydercos have got a distinct look. A lot of times they're ugly, but sometimes ugly just works. So guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I'm pretty sure that I've thrown a Coffee Brand Coffee link in there somewhere. I'm going to edit this later. We'll see if I throw it in. If I didn't, just know Coffee Brand Coffee is a channel sponsor along with Tempered Trail. Tempered Trail and Coffee Brand Coffee share a coupon code of Crazy Sharp. But if you're getting the coffee, I absolutely recommend you use the link. It just makes it easier. It's less work. Sometimes the code is hard to get put in. I also have an Amazon store down below. You can take that link, pin it to your browser, use it for any shopping you're going to do. And it doesn't cost you anything to check out, but it supports the channel. And you don't even have to put on pants to do it. I also have got a membership where we all hang out in my Gilded server. I have giveaways that I do on the Gilded server for the baseline and premium guys. And the premium guys have access to the sharpening tutorial series, but everyone has access to my exclusive content that I put up for the members, and everyone has access to the Gilded server. So check out the membership, 3 tiers. Find one that works for you if you want to support the channel. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.